Hello everyone, my name's Ethonra, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. So a couple things I want to talk about before we hop in. One, they're saying the exact same dialogue, so I'm not going to talk to them, except for Alize, of course. Second is I saw that they're bringing in some new hairstyles, two of which are going to be from Nier. I don't really care for either one. Mine's kind of perfect on top of being perfect. This hairstyle I have right now is actually coming back. For those of you who've been wanting it for so long, you'll finally get a chance to get it. It's been so long since I've had it, I honestly don't remember where I got it, except for the fact that it was somehow related to the gold saucer. That's all I can remember. What else? Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's good that they're bringing it back. So people have been, out of all the hairstyles I've seen, for whatever reason, this is the one people wanted the most. Heck if I know why, because I promise you within a week, if not 3 days, they're going to be sick of it and then go for the Nier hairstyle. So, I don't know. But regards to that, it really doesn't matter too much for myself because one, I already have it, and let's be honest here. We know who wears it best. Alright. Oh, I kept you waiting, huh? Yeah, and after this I'll talk about the dungeon, because I ran it a couple more times and I got to understand it better, and I found out a neat little trick. I honestly didn't even think of myself as being part of that, so that's neat. Being a humble guy and all. Fascinating, considering that last cutscene we saw with Lise. Hmm. Alright, so while I'm heading there, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the new dungeon. Specifically the second boss, the one that got me like 2 or 3 times. Uh, Firstly, the fault is obviously mine, because I was not paying attention. I was too busy commentating and trying not to make too much of a fool out of myself, which happened anyway, but still. When you know that little water sprout? Yeah, that's what I thought. That new water sprout, not new, but there's a geyser, water sprout, whatever you want to call it, at this dungeon around the second boss. I did not notice that the first time I played, because again, wasn't paying attention. That's my fault. In my head, I thought it was a magic circle, because I mean, let's be honest, that dungeon is supposed to be like the anti-tower, in the sense that the exact same frogs are working with Matoya that worked in the anti-tower. Well, not the exact same, or maybe they were and they just went mad. Either way, the anti-tower and the dungeon I just brought up, didn't even pay attention to the name because Matoya is in it. Those two are both related to Matoya. So, in my head, that's, even if I acknowledged it was a water sprout, my mouth must have just been moving faster than my mind, because I did not recognize that being the exact same thing as what was in the boss fight, because if I did, I would have reacted differently. Because, as I mentioned in the fight itself, that water sprout, that geyser, is actually from that pixie dungeon. Fairy dungeon, I mean. Hey, it's been a long time. I wonder if he gets a bigger role. Aw, Moon Burrita, that was her name. That's how you pronounce it, I believe. The charge, but considering I don't get an audience that much anyway, hopefully it's not an issue. That was kind of weird. I guess I'll bring it back up once it has a decent charge. I ordinarily would wait for it to be fully charged before doing this. But I think I fell asleep last night and forgot to charge it, so... I'm right across from the Namo.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Namo.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrix. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Teleforoi's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Nah, good. Already paying off.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
That's a very good point. I didn't think of that.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
I was wondering when we'd see her again. I didn't think it'd be this soon, though. I'm surprised she talked to me at all. I was expecting just 3 dots. Yeah, I was wondering why he was acting weird.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolva and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fordola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Aldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagalthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino, for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Still don't like the name.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. Oh, I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut.
You should have told him last.
But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Hey, there's a Stenian right here. Oh, I don't want to talk to you yet. Yeah, that should be interesting to see how Raha reacts. Yeah, that kind of helps. This is why I'm glad they let you color code names, because I would absolutely lose where everyone is in this. Also, I got to remember to let everything load in for a couple of seconds, because I want to talk to everyone to make sure I get all their dialogue. Alright, this one looks like it doesn't change, so I shouldn't have to worry about checking it. Yeah, I was making sure I was looking at the right thing. It doesn't always pinpoint what you're clicking on. So sometimes you have to zoom in, as it were. Also, I was wrong. My phone did die on me, but that was a bit earlier. I think my phone is just being old, because it's turned off. It's turned itself off twice now. But as I said earlier, thankfully it's not an issue for me, anyway. Yeah, so polite. Oh, you guys can probably tell I'm actually in a good mood now since I'm laughing. But what Alice A said there was genuinely funny. Also, speaking of near raid, I saw my friend Payne Leonhart mention that they're gonna go and do the new raid. I'm assuming that's the near raid, especially since I told you earlier I saw on Google they're going, not Google itself is gonna do it, but Google mentioned they're releasing the near hairstyle in this game, so I can only draw the assumption that that's what the new raid is. I'm going to do that on my own time, but I don't think I'll do it today. I'm going to try to play keep up with all the other side quests. I think there's be more Mandeville quests, but I think that's not till Endwalker. But yeah, I'm not going to do the new raid today. I'm going to wait for some of that newness to run off first. Unless I go with my FC, but I don't think they're doing it today either. Also, I noticed the names look kind of different. Maybe it's just me because I haven't been on this game in a few days. I've been playing Resident Evil 6. I'm one of the 4 people in human history who does not hate that game. I genuinely do like Resident Evil 6. So I've been playing that. I've been playing... what's the other game? This the one with the bikers and the freaks, as they call them. I can't remember the name right now. But that game, and then there's a third one. Oh, right, duh, Monster Hunter. Oh, I've also been trying out the Astrologian. I heard a little rumor that Sage is going to be the new, it's going to be a shield healer, kind of like Scholar. But I also heard they're going to take that ability away from Astrologian. Astrologian is not my favorite healer, but it is incredibly fun, and I think that's, wouldn't say necessarily a dumb idea, but not one I support at all. It's kind of like taking, Fracture away from warriors. Like, they already can get the most aggro in the game because they hit the hardest. So if a determined, motivated warrior really, really wanted to, they could easily take away aggro without needing provoke. So removing their dot doesn't help that. So kind of hate they took that from warrior. And as you see, I myself am not a warrior, but I do feel for them. because every bit of DPS does count. So much like removing Fracture, I think it's kind of stupid to remove one of the Astrologian's main abilities, which is switching between sex. Sex, I said, by the way. Sex. Oh man, it still sounds the same, doesn't it? S-E-C-T-S. We'll just call them forms from now on, alright? But taking their ability away to do that sounds like a terrible idea, because I'll get to this in a second. Riddle me this, because it's happened to me before, but I was an Astrologian, so it was no big deal. Say, for example, you get into a raid, and in the raid, it involves, you know, healing to full, otherwise everyone dies, and you have 2 scholars. It's not impossible, but it's going to be really, really tight, or at least I guess it depends on the raid itself. I haven't played Scholar, so I don't know if they have anything on par with Medica, Medica 2, and I'm unfamiliar with the Astrologians' names for the most part, but they basically also have a Medica as well. So I guess Scholar would also have one. But the point is, White Mage would 100% excel with that. Astrologian is a close second. But the reason why I brought that up is, if there's a Scholar who specializes in shields, and I'm an Astrologian, I can just go with the Regen form and regenerate health, helping them get back to full. Or vice versa. Got a White Mage. I'm an Astro. White Mage has that super sweet healing and regen, so then I go shield form. Get what I'm saying? If you have 2 Astros, then either one can go whatever they want. Just it'd be best if they don't both go the same stance. So if you take that away from them and you get 2 scholars, you basically have 2 scholars. One has a fairy and another one can buff. But it's not written in stone as far as I know, and I do hope that rumor is wrong, because that just sounds like a bad decision. Yeah, the rumors are true. Before I go on, I wanted to say something else about that. Oh. And it had a lot of hate back in the day, but it's kind of died down now because people have gotten used to it. And so have I, if I'm being honest, but I still don't like the idea of, we're going to make you play this specific role no matter what. Like, healers used to have Arrow 3, or rather, White Mages did. Incredibly useful ability. Very, very useful. Especially since it stopped them from holy spamming all the time. So they took that away and created a worse issue. So ever since then, no, I've not been a fan of, you are a healer, so we're going to take away one of your best tools so you can focus more on healing, as opposed to giving you the choice. I'm always a fan of more options as opposed to less.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
He's right, because I was going to say Estinian is a national hero. Unless, of course, he's... Yep, I did the same thing.
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence.
We need to exchange link pearl numbers, because you are way too difficult to track.
I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You guys get it, right?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino. Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Oh man, I can't see.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Did I not call that Graha was going to be the best boy from now on?
Would someone
right
mind
there.
explaining what is going on?
It's okay, man. You're not losing your mind.
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting.
You heard that all the way out there?
Estinian! It's been too long.
Oh man, this patch is hitting all the right notes so soon.
No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
I like how Alice is still pouting.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
I'd say happier, honestly. Yeah, that's a pretty good answer. That's true too. They're close, but they're not that close, and that's a tempting option.
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
Still pouting.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azis La.
Azis La? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Tiamat?
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azis La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I wasn't sure how to pronounce her name, but I remember who it is.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again, and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt?
He'll grow on you. Oh, right. I'm fairly certain I mentioned this in a past stream. I'm almost 100% certain I have. But one cool thing about Azis La is when you go around Tiamat, when you go around her, there's the Great Worm OST actually plays. Speaking of Worm, let me comment on that too. I've said it before to my FC, and I think none of them really picked up on it. But when you fight Shinryu, EX, one of the targets, main targets really, is the Worm Heart, and it's spelled incorrectly. I have not yet gone back to see if they fixed that, but they spelled it W-O-R-M as opposed to Y-W. I said that wrong. W-O-R-M is the worm in the ground. They spelled it wrong. It should be W-Y-R-M. There we go. Spelling is not my forte. Anyway, in the fight with I'm not going to spoil it, we'll just call it Seed of Sacrifice, they actually spelled it correctly. So it makes me wonder if they ever went back to fix that issue or not. It's not an issue, it's just really odd thing for Final Fantasy, a game that constantly improves people's vocabularies, would spell incorrectly. I just think that's so strange. That's a interesting perspective. Tiamat. I keep wanting to say Tiamat for some reason. Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, see, it's spelled correctly there. Yeah, I'll comment on that in a second. Yeah, there's that characteristic Alphino was gushing about. Despite his bluntness, Estinian is quite reliable. But yeah, they mentioned a really good point. I never really stopped to think about this perspective because, you know, Nidhogg. But the reason why Nidhogg, well, several reasons, but one of the reasons why he was so bloodthirsty is because to him, what happened seemed like it was that same day, maybe at the latest yesterday. It was still fresh in his mind, even millennia later, or however much time had passed. It basically, his hatred at that moment never went away. If anything, it grew more intense. I never stopped to think, or if I did, I forgot, that Tiamat was the same in terms of her sorrow instead, for not necessarily resurrecting, but, you know, the whole Bahamut thing. Also, I know I'm rambling a lot here, but I need to say this, otherwise I forget. Anyone, artists out there, feel free to pay me a finder's fee of like $1 if this is a thing. But I was thinking about how Bahamut looks like it's pronounced Bahamut. If anyone draws like a tiny dragon dog, let me know. I want to see that. Matter of fact, I would make that into a mount myself. Or not a mount, a minion myself. It'll be like the wolf pup, little Bahamut. Yeah, life is curious that way. Yeah. Quite a fascinating group of villains, the Ascians. Can't speak much for Kefka Seymour Reverb. I always find destroy the planet, destroy the world kind of plans so uninspiring. Even Wesker and his undying meme of total global saturation, he himself said he wasn't destroying the world, he was quote-unquote saving it. I don't know about that, but his plan definitely wasn't destroying the world, a la, well, let's say Resident Evil 6. I'll say that. Those who played it know what I'm talking about. And there's the music, but I cannot see anything. I see someone. Oh, never mind. See, they're all bundled up in here. And I don't know which one I'm supposed to talk to trigger this, so let me wait a second. So I would imagine it's a Stinian, but I don't see him. He hasn't loaded in. Oh, no. I think that's... Yeah, this is also another reason why I usually wait before doing this, but I wanted to kind of do it early so I can focus on other things later. Let me see if this will tell me so I don't accidentally skip anything. It says Estinian at the bottom. It doesn't say technically to talk to him, but it does say him. Here's Alice. I knew I saw someone in here. I'm personally hoping we do get to free her, because that'd be so cool. Especially sending her to, I'm bad with the name, the, it's not Tailfeather, but it's in that general map area with all the dragons. That'd be so cool to get to free her and she used to live out there. Yeah, the music kind of helps with that, doesn't it? There you are, Estinian. Yeah, you're not saying anything. Ah, there we go. I figured I might have talked to Tiamat. That's why I backed up, but there was no marker there, so should have figured it was on the ground where I couldn't see. Oh, let me hush. Music.
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
I stopped talking just for Estinian to talk and the music stops anyway. Well, at least y'all heard some of it.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Captives of a lost empire, neither alive nor dead, existing only to preserve Bahamut's corporeal form.
I wonder if she's mentioning that because I did the binding call of Bahamut. Because I think it's prior to Storm's Blood? If you do the binding call of Bahamut, it'll change Alice's dialogue.
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
Snosk anta in Dramon.
Behavior befitting a great worm.
Yeah, there's that bluntness.
We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Santalan infan antosk. Goes went on. Ale o esk an in. Ale kum ak in.
I didn't press
were
anything. That was
exposed
fast.
to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Snoska Dramon kin. Nestra in. Iles I. Nesh an. Ant ala.
I guess we're not gonna free her anytime soon.
Nalstra ul an. Antal an. Smon. Tahi an.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
This should be interesting.
Usk she's in.
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
Sahan. Seth so. Kin Bahamut an. An sumon na an ingles snaloles dish an na ala an ul an sin an stan in.
Leave it to the twins to think outside the box. I thought for sure this was one of those, you know, come back and recruit after you deal with it situations. But looks like I was wrong. In addition to that, the reason I said it was interesting, do you recall, you can always go back and look at the stream, you won't, but you could, do you recall how much ether it took to, well, to be fair, he was completely taken, she's slightly slow, but it took a lot of ether to free that Cabal High Priest guy. This is a great worm, one of the first brood of Midgardsormr's children. I don't even think our combined ether of all of the scions, save Thancred, because he can't, I believe, will be able to deal with this. So I'm curious on what they're going to do. But first I got to find everybody. Okay, so don't talk to Graha. Okay. Not yet anyway. Come here, Alphanel. There we are. Yeah, of course. You ever notice, funny thing about the truth is people get mad when you speak the truth about something they don't like. Like, say for example, if you stole something or you cheated or what have you, and someone rightfully calls you out on it, of course you're going to be mad because they're telling the truth. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no joke. Alright, let's see. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't recognize you there. Oh, dang it, that's right, I need to pick up a Wondrous Tale. I know they're not everyone's favorite thing to do. Heck, they're not even my favorite, but since I main tank and I can solo most of them no problem at all, in addition to I know how the shuffling and I'm not sure what the other thing is called, retrying, refreshing, whatever, works. I really don't mind the Wondrous Tales because you're pretty much guaranteed a free map and some tomes. Easy tomes you will get from doing the roulettes anyway, so you actually get even more than you think. There's really no reason not to do them besides you're just not interested. They can only be beneficial. Nope. You got it. Fell for it just like them. No, wait, no, I didn't. I was like, I could have swore it told me to come here. Yeah, I was saying I would hope to find this quickly so that too many people don't show up and start making it lag out of existence. Well, I mean, it's been holding up so far. And our little scuffle with the Triad and King Thornton didn't seem to do anything, so... we'll see. For the sake of drama, who knows? Even machines can pick up on his bluntness. That's useless. That's obviously important, especially the text right there, but I would have picked it anyway. This is obviously the important one. As if, you know, the text itself needed to be a hint. Thought I saw something. Or someone, as it were. Huh. Tempting, but no. Well, that's good, because I didn't want to disengage it right now. There it is, teaching you more vocabulary. I said so earlier this stream, and in the same episode, it's already been proven. I didn't do that. I don't know why that went by so fast. My finger must be like just barely grazing the buttons because I'm not pressing them. Well, I mean, they're both geniuses, and Sid does spend all of his life around one. Or them, I should say. Yeah, that's kind of what I said. Yeah, it's a good thing I have a head that's stronger than a alloy combination of mithril and adamantium, because I'd bonked right into that. Triad statues, neat. Oh, right. I think I need to go in from this side. Not sure what that is. Yep. Oh. Pressed the wrong button. I looked too soon. I'm on the right level, just not the right spot. Yeah, and as I thought, that doesn't go anywhere. There we go. I forgot there was more than one. I was only familiar with the one. Oh, that's cool. I just noticed. Yeah, it applies to anything. I was having a chat with one of my FC mates about how useful it is to do this for the circle. Honestly, obviously it does help. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but I don't see that being as big of an issue as they were making it sound like. Their basic argument was if the boss is facing this way, you can't tell which direction it's in. And my counter argument was, look at the boss itself. Even if you have bad eyes, most enemies in this game have a face. Whichever its face is facing, it's where it's facing. That's where it's looking. And if it doesn't have a face, look at the circle. There's a big block-off arrow right in front of it. That's clearly the front. In the back, there's empty space. That's obviously the back. I honestly don't see what the big deal was with adding this. It helps. I'm not going to say it doesn't. It does help. But it doesn't seem like it was big of an issue or a big deal like they were making it. Like, you have bad eyes, it helps. Okay, I also have a character model with a face. So, wherever I'm looking, that's where it's pointing. Still, nice. Very nice. My argument was they might as well have made the old enemies that cannot turn but do have positionals, omnipositionals. That way you don't have to rely on true north as a melee DPS just to get out your max damage. $5 years and a day. True. to be fair, I would have chose that option if I could, Estinian. I would have just said no. Yeah. I hate that message went by so fast, because that is an excellent lesson. Because friend Daniel, from what little he mentioned, wants to just destroy the world. I honestly can't remember if he said why, because pretty much when he started doing the whole Kefka Seymour speech, I honestly did kind of just tune him out. But I guess we could find out, why do you want to do that? He might even said why, I just don't remember. Yeah, so how about we just kill the one guy for good and save all the realms? You know, there were like 13 in total. I think there's like 7 now? I forget. My point is, friend Daniel wants to destroy all of it. Much like how the Warriors of Darkness were like one life for one world. Well, this is one life for all forms of reality, as far as Final Fantasy XIV is concerned. Not a hard decision to make. Incineration of staff. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I guess if for no other reason, out of idle curiosity, we could find out why he wants to destroy everything. Was his childhood that bad? Did his parents not love him enough? You know, there's got to be some kind of reason besides mindless destruction. Even Kefka, allegedly, I don't know how true this is to the lore, but allegedly Kefka turned out the way he did because he was experimented on. So his insanity, despite being insanity, at least has a reason, is because he's insane from the experimentations. So that at least makes sense. But wanting to destroy the world because destroy the world. And even Seymour, his whole thing made sense. He felt death was... I don't want to put words in his mouth. I wouldn't say freedom per se, but he did definitely see death as being better than life. So even that makes sense. But I don't know. Like I said, the whole destroy everything just so uninspired. It's kind of hard for me to take it seriously. I'll try though, because this game does have an excellent story. Now there's Lucy, one of my FC mates. So busy though, we don't get to talk much. I'll be sure to let them know they popped up on the stream. Exactly. Yeah, I pointed that out too. Yeah, that's a good point too. Oh really? We're doing this. Heck, Queen Porksy might be able to do it. I'll probably get to do both, but in case I get to do only one, this one is obviously more important, so. Yeah, see? Exactly. They're the catalyst for everything. Or at least everything that involves misery. Yeah, overpopulation will do that. No one really thinks that far ahead. Kind of like they got the hype reversed. Like obviously when we were first doing the cure, they had to hype it up, so of course it took a lot of ether. Even though Tiamat is barely tempered, she's still a great dragon. This should still be incredibly taxing, far more for just Alice. So let's see if they can kind of reel that back to where it should be. You know, I'm going to try to remember after this stream, I'm actually going to go unsynced into Shinryu's EX just to see if they finally spelled worm correctly. Because right there, worm's treatment, that's how it's supposed to be spelled. So, I'll be really, really shocked if they have not gone back and fixed that. I mean, heck, they even changed the Gunbreaker run. Remember when the Gunbreaker first came out? I was like, man, this run looks really, really weird. Like, I can't even remember how it looks because they've long since fixed it. It looks normal now. But when it first came out, the run was incredibly wonky. Very wonky. And I'm guessing they fixed it because of... Oh, Stingy's up there. Yeah, I need to talk to him. And I'm guessing they fixed it because enough people complained about it, or maybe they themselves were like, yeah, this looks kind of dumb. Being a game that has such an impressive vocabulary, and spelling something like worm wrong would be understandable for like maybe a week, maybe till the next patch, but not for this long. So I'm really curious to see if they've actually gone back and fixed it. Yep. Plus you guys get to hear this music for a little bit longer, so that's nice. There it is again. I'm not gonna do that too much, but I'm gonna keep on poking. But as I said earlier, I didn't think all of us be able to do it, but they made a good point. She's not fully tempered, so okay, I retract that statement. But again, Alicia herself said it. This should be incredibly taxing.
No! I'm almost there! This is it, Angelo!
I will comment on this after the fact. I'll let the scene play out, because it's epic and adorable, as if on cue.
Es ließ an, unlieg es drei.
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
We could just ask. I mean, I guess he is technically right. I don't see why not.
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts. Their flesh
Yeah,
irrevocably
those...
altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
Yeah, those, that's a different story, sadly.
Slosk an ol vol kail an. Slosk sed som in an.
Heavy.
Afterten. More old. One an. Lis an. Do old an.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
She's in an and me.
Alphino's ready. It's time. Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
No, now they got a good look at her. She kind of looks like Nidhogg.
Mahamud an Uljas. Ul Asa. Vesk An.
By the gods!
Yeah. The wings remind me more of Nidhogg, but the facial horns also did it a bit.
Urianger, your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan.
Oh, what timing?
He flies for the largest amount of settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
That's neat. The music still plays. I'd have took a screenshot of that if I could. Maybe I could have, but don't want to break up the stream too much. Right. So, as I was saying earlier with Angelo, I can understand the significance of having Alice use the porksy she made to cure Tiamat. That makes total sense. Well, not total sense, but I can understand the weight behind it. But it would make more sense, and probably less aether, if they use the mother porksy. If she can do this, I imagine she could, since she can spawn porksies that can. I just kind of figured they would have had us backtrack to get the mother porksy, then come here, then do it. But, whatever. Still worked. Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if this will be a trial. It's kind of feel like it's building up to be one. But yeah, this is a great track. You should definitely look it up if you've never heard it before, somehow. Oh, right, I forgot. Some people, I guess, don't enjoy the smaller things in life because they'll actually turn the music off, which is almost as insane to me as skipping the story. Aram Reborn, I guess. Stormblood, I don't understand it, but fine, that's your call. But the music, one of the greatest things about Final Fantasy XIV, and you turn it off? Yeah, we're all heading there, ain't we? I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm never going to be able to pronounce the Tupelhori never going to get used to that. I'm rather just call them Asians, but whatever. Because Xenos might as well be one, and Ferndaniel is one. I wonder if Ferndaniel is like want to destroy everything crazy because he's Asundered. Maybe his other half is the sane half. Who knows? Yep, I was like, there's only one person I would know would say something like that. Must be really on Ferndaniel's leash. Exactly. That definitely sounds like a trial. Bye, Namo. Bye, Papa Sean. I was going to comment, I love how they take such a basic emote as the nod and it's come this far. That just makes me laugh. Don't know why they didn't show my character doing it, since, you know, kind of started the whole thing. Matter of fact, they even comment on that, I want to say in maybe Aram Reborn. I think Alphino does. Actually, more than once they commented on it, but I think Alphino did it first, way back in the day. Or maybe it was Thancred. I don't know. It's been too long. Okay. Hey, look at that. I was telling my cousin that the cosplay in this game, it can be pretty great. Not especially, but kind of true so on Midgard-Sormer. But I'm probably just saying that because I live here, so of course I see it happening more. But there's been some really good cosplays I've seen. Mostly ones like Tifa, Cloud. Oddly enough, don't see any Squalls, even though you can very easily do a Squall one. Even better than the Cloud one, since they screwed up Cloud's outfit by giving him the sleeveless version. That was so dumb. I'd probably be rocking that outfit right now if they actually kept it true to form, but whatever. And yeah, I know the pink ribbon, but for those who watch Advent Children would know the pink ribbon is under the sleeve anyway. and you still get the complete outfit of having the sleeve, making the outfit cooler. And those who don't know there's a pink ribbon underneath it will not be missing anything. So no matter how you slice it, worse. They made it worse. Yeah, that's a very good point. He talks about how he wants to destroy everything. But Thancred made a good point. Besides, we don't want Final Fantasy XIV to end that soon. So he's not going to attack a city-state, but it would make sense. Also, I've never seen that minion before. So either that's from the Puppet's bunker, or someone has just came back from the new raid. Yeah, he's probably already beaten us there. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, it's weird when your Stola says it like that. There it is. So, dungeon or trial? Okay, good. I was actually personally hoping for a dungeon, but not like that. I'm going with the crew, and I have all of them this time. Unfortunately, Thancred's going to sit this one out because I'm going to be the tank. I think if Graha comes, he will be, as a healer, I think he'll be White Mage-esque, which I'd rather have than a Scholar or an Astrologian. Thancred, you know, is pretty sneaky, so I'd find it more impressive if he allowed them to even see his face, let alone remember him. And Urianger makes an excellent point, of course. I think that's the near hair. Yep. Yeah, that's definitely the near hair. Or 2B to be specific. And for those who are curious, because I'm honestly not, the girl one looks great, not gonna lie. 9S, his looks like one we actually already have, which is kind of funny, but this one is definitely unique. That's definitely 2B. I mean, no. I was going to say, I guess maybe 9S might, but he doesn't wear a hairband, does he? So, no, his looks like one we already have, and if I remember to do it, I might actually show you. That's pretty good glam right there, Maylin. I'll be right back, and then I'll start this dungeon. I was hoping for a dungeon, man, because with a trial, I want to have, you know, believe that we'll be able to do it maybe in the first 1 or 2 tries, but I don't want to get into a party and then people start rage quitting and being toxic. I don't want that to show up on stream. It's bad enough it happens, period. I don't want that to be shown out there to make people think this game is full of a bunch of elitists, which it isn't. But anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm here. Let's see. Come on now. The lock-on kind of funny when there's this many people close by.
I stand ever ready.
That's pretty much what I want. Yeah, I guess that'll do. I'll try to focus so I don't make any stupid mistakes like I did at the second boss fight of that last dungeon. What gave it away is when the NPCs stopped moving. I was like, why are they not moving? Maybe we just avoid the sprouts? But no, they stopped moving because they were waiting for me. I'll have to be sure to remember that. Oh, I love this remix. Yeah, this is a good remix. It giving me some Legend of Zelda feels, like it's not the Garuda Desert, because that song is a banger, and this one's a banger too, but differently. It just feels like a Legend of Zelda soundtrack. And as usual, take it slow. Especially since I don't know who they're going to attack. Oh, what's this? They're actually attacking the right target? That's definitely just dumb luck, but still good to see. Okay, good, I was right. He does come as a healer. I mean, duh, I meant white mage. Which means, as a DPS, he should be black mage, and as a tank is literally anyone's guess. I don't recall ever tanking, or letting him be the tank, so I honestly can't say. Maybe I'll do it in my spare time. Actually, no, that's not true. No, yes it is. I think. Either I'm thinking of... No, because he wasn't part of the dungeon. I did let Thancred tank one time, but it was before Graha was playable. It was in the first dungeon of Shadowbringers. And I decided to let Thancred tank to see how it looked, and he did fine, honestly. He did real good. Obviously, though, he would not run ahead as an actual tank. You still had to aggro things. Aw, poor little dragons. And I do see that back there. There's... Alright, what are you attacking? Like I said, I gotta pay attention to what they're attacking, so we can, one, get through this faster, and two, so I don't take too much stupid damage. Oh, it happens anyway. Curious. I'm guessing we have the option to break it sooner or not. I'm not saying much of a choice though. Because if you kill just one enemy and it still summons the big guy anyway, you might as well just go ahead and break it early. Well, there's a slight difference, you know. One less ad means one less thing eating your tank alive. Kind of weird seeing the dragons talk. I'm not sure if they all could do that. Obviously some can, but I don't know. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say they all could talk. I don't know if they all spoke the language of man, like this one is, and the others were. Technically speaking, no pun intended, Tiamat and Midgard Swimmer at times, when they have that blue tinge to their text, it means they're speaking in their dragon language, but we can understand it. They're not actually speaking like I'm speaking to you or them. Help is here. Really? You gonna throw explosives? I was breaking one of my own little rules. I was gonna show I'm not paying as much attention as I should be. I am being watchful. I'm watching you guys do nothing. I thought they would at least be throwing blue AoEs to let you know those are not going to hurt you but hurt the enemy. I don't see them doing anything. I need to stop watching them though. Oh, that's a nice crit. By the way, I don't recall if I did it before or after, but I changed the stat on my weapon because Speed Gunbreaker is really fun. So before I changed it, I had a bunch of speed, and I think I didn't have much crit, and that's a mistake. If there's anything I think you should put on tank perspective, weapons that allow you to customize your stats, you should 100% go tenacity and crit. I guess skill speed can be made up for in armor, and as you can see, not all of it is skill speed like it used to be. But tenacity helps my damage and makes me take less damage at the price of not having skill speed. So I guess it comes down to the mood I'm in, because Speed Gunbreaker is incredibly fun. It is very fun. But at the same time, as a Gunbreaker, I kind of need that tenacity because I don't have the survivability of a Paladin. And I'm still not using all my abilities. I promise you, I do play better than this on my own time if I was just sitting here filling it out. Not that that's any excuse. I'm not saying, be patient with me. I'm just telling you like it is. I do play better when I'm not being watched, or with the assumption I'm being watched, or anything like that. Oh, how helpful. They did one stun and then got back to business. Even that AI, no. I'm sorry, that was probably mean. But y'all know how I feel about stun locking White Mage Holies. The reason I got quiet there is because I thought the Fire Breath was a lingering AoE, but it's not. It's just this guy constantly spamming fire. Aw, he died just a little too fast. That would have been nice to have when we were fighting that first group of dragons. That's an Allegan Coral if I've ever seen one. Even has an Allegan Coral-like name. Alright, let's see what you got. That sounds like a tank buster. Yep. Oh, okay. Oh, neat. I actually saw that on accident. Not sure what Alice was doing there. Because at first I was like, oh, we just split up. I wonder if that's dodgeable. That stung a bit. I'll try to pay attention. But yeah, that first one was on accident. I actually saw it be brought to the tower because I thought we were just splitting up. Okay, that reminds me... Oh, they're still going off. That reminds me of Ramu. and his tower rods, I guess, where you want to avoid. Okay, good. Any tower works. I thought we were waiting for something.
Let's give them a show.
Yeah, I don't think you can dodge that unless you have to go to the sides. I'm not sure, but they didn't, so I guess it's fine.
Gloves are off.
I'm actually going to watch this time just to see. No, I guess I was right the first time. Because I'm like, if it's some kind of sneaky line stacking AoE, that would explain why they don't move. So I didn't want to risk getting hit with all the damage by myself. That's going to be a kind of dangerous trick for melee DPS, specifically Dragoon. Samurai won't have to worry about it at all, and Monk only a little bit. And yeah, I saw they said this thing was a dragon. I mean, okay, it's a dragon coral, but still a coral. A coral. That's another word I can't quite pronounce.
I will not hold back.
This is a cool fight. Not too hard, but I wouldn't say hard enough, but not too hard, but enough to where if you're not paying attention, you can get messed up. And this is also a good point for me to say this before I forget. You notice how when it does this or that AoE right there? Yeah, when it's doing that AoE right there, or one of them, I didn't get to study it, so I wasn't paying attention to the names. But it does that one AoE, and then it does, I think it's called Tail Spike, Tail Club, something. I actually saw the name, I just can't remember it. That is an excellent example of why you should... There. If I could make thumbnails, that would be it. Hands down, that would be the thumbnail for this video. What are the odds YouTube will be nice and actually do it for me? Pretty unlikely, huh? Yeah, that's a really good one. Damn. Anyway, that was an excellent point of why I say focus target everything and why I try to make it almost like a religion to focus target bosses.
What took you so long?
Hey!
The Amount are in trouble. Let's split up.
Now, there should be nothing left standing with her here. Anyway, before I completely lose my train of thought, yeah, that's why I focus target bosses, because if I wasn't, and I was a melee DPS, speaking of which, let me focus target this thing in case it tries to do shred, because that'll stun me, and I don't want to get stunned when there's like 5 AoEs coming out for me. But yeah, because if I was a melee DPS and I did not have focus target on, almost certainly I would have been hit by that tail attack. Because as soon as I saw a bar pop up, I would have looked at the boss, and then as soon as I saw that cone, I would have ran into the boss as opposed to running to the side, depending on how far away I am. So in that case, it would have saved me from taking damage, especially if I failed mechanic earlier and was one hit away from death. That would have saved my life. Speaking of saving my lives, they're targeting this one. So I will too. Though I think for this one I would go for the Reaper first, because it has a cone A, or not cone, circle AoE. So is that big guy, or the big dragon we just killed. Oh, that reminds me, I never uploaded those videos, did I? Well, I did mention them, and to be fair, they weren't, you know, insane. It was just exactly what I talked about. Why I don't care for those type of healers, and I can't remember what the other one was, honestly. But I did mention it last stream. I'll let them take care of him. The Reaper.
This is going to leave a mark.
Nice. It's kind of weird. Hey, look. Haven't seen these guys since the Grimlit Dark. That's how I pronounce it, but I don't think that's how it's actually pronounced. Anywho, I was saying I was kind of hoping she would do that over here. Anyway, it's kind of weird seeing the Garleans do the tempered chant. That's definitely it. So what? Yeah, matter of fact, I didn't even have to pay attention to what they were saying. It says it right there above their heads. Tempered Imperial. I guess that's to make sure those who are already part of Garlemald don't defect. That's the only reason I could see why they would bother doing that. I can't wait to see Xenos again. I'm curious what kind of... Is he going to still be a samurai? Is he going to get him like a Masamune kind of blade now? And besides, the blade he had before was really, really special, because not only did it become his signature sword, I mean, heck, even Dissidia NT acknowledged that, and now that form is completely invalid, because he doesn't use it anymore. He destroyed it. But the reason that blade was special is because, one, the little prophecy Urianger gave, two, the way he got it from, I can never remember her actual name, Tutsuyu, the adoptive daughter of Gosetsu, the one we all wanted to be a good guy in the end, that one. When she was...
No, you don't.
Sick. When she was evil, hey, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was kind of expecting a one-shot, but that's still really good. Made me lose my train of thought. I was trying to see if I had already opened that chest. That probably wasn't worth it. I cannot remember what I was saying. I honestly don't. Oh, and in case it's not already obvious, aside from me just not focusing and being new to this dungeon, I'm not paying as much attention as I should. That's obvious, but I meant I'm actually holding back because I don't know when I'm going to come across a boss until it's made obvious. So I'm trying not to use things like my Red Rules Wind combo, Rend, and my dots, because I'd rather use those on the boss. See, I thought it was going to be over there. I honestly can't remember what I was saying earlier. I'm going to hate myself even more than I do once I watch this again at some point. If I do, I usually don't. I honestly cannot remember. Something about... Oh, right. Let me go and say this, otherwise I will completely forget again. Yeah, Xenos. I'm really curious what kind of weapon he's going to bring. Is he going to bring another samurai with a cooler sword? Which I would think be kind of hard, because the other one was already kind of cool and had a bit of legacy behind it. Is he going to be a totally different class? I don't know. It made sense for Xenos to be a samurai, because samurai are like the physical black mage, so it made sense from a gameplay perspective why he would be a samurai, because of his insane physical strength. So I'm really curious to see my friend again. And this is kind of peculiar. I haven't seen something like this since the Vault. Can I attack this? Nope, no I can't. Okay, this might be like, oh, okay, I definitely need to focus on that. said something about outlasting their defenses. So does that mean this is going to be like Birdham's Mantle kind of deal, where you just survive the fight, but you actually have to fight now? Also, I have a feeling these cannons are going to get tricky. All three are going to be active at some point, and you got to pay attention to which order is firing first, because they have a 2-charge delay. Oh, of course, and there's this. Didn't see this coming. To be fair, I should have moved from that, but I was too busy making sure I didn't line myself up with the cannon. Oh, and there's missiles. I knew something would come from the side. I thought it'd be more lasers. Yeah, this is going to get kind of hectic. Oh, snap. Don't need no geysers deceiving me this time. Defensive reaction.
Just the beginning.
Oh, okay. I was kind of concerned defensive reaction might have been like a deflect kind of thing. That's why I stopped my combo, so I wouldn't kill myself. Yeah, I was kind of afraid of that. These guys are part of the boss fight, so they're immune to slow. Not that big of a deal, but... Also, future reference, for those who tank this in the future, what little advice I can give, being new myself. Try to tank these things in the middle. That way your teammates have optimum time to dodge whatever's coming their way. Speaking of dodging, I need a watch right here. There we go. Look at that, actually using Verkira. I'm gonna have to make mental note of that. I've probably said that before, I'm almost certain I have. But the fact that Alice actually uses Verkira means in a way I have 2 healers, and that's amazing. Can't see. But yeah, I think it was just a pulsing AoE. It wasn't like actual deflect. But I thought I saw it get a buff when it did this. No? Must have been looking at something else. Okay, yeah, it's just AoE. Sick. You know, she says that, and it actually reminds me of, again, it's been so long. Do you remember... Oh, that was kind of neat. Do you remember in... I cannot remember the name of the area. Reunion had the Dawn Throne and all that stuff. You remember the race of Ara that were not afraid of dying at all? Matter of fact, they believe themselves to be immortal. Reincarnations, at least. Yeah, the leader there actually has an attack similar to what the Amalja just did. It's just this big old screw you laser. So it's kind of funny that Y'shtola doesn't already know how to do that. Then again, was she? No, I think she was a white mage still at that time, so fair enough. I wonder what Gaius has been up to. I guess he's still dealing with the weapons. Well, maybe not here in the main story. The weapons are kind of a side thing, but I still need to take care of Emerald Weapon, and I guess I'll do that later today while I wait for the newness of the raid to die down a bit. Funny thing, these macros I made can be more reliable than the actual buttons themselves. I had pressed, what's the name of this move? Bloodfest, that's what I thought. I pressed it, but nothing happened, so either I was a second early, or my controller was just old, and it didn't want to register. But I did press it. Wow. I'm kind of surprised there's not more of a cutscene given where we are. Because this is supposed to be a part. Oh wow, I thought that was lava. It's golden fields. I mean, I thought those were like just patches of ground, but no, those are golden fields. That's kind of cool. Speaking of kind of cool, I take back what I said. Something like that would have been the thumbnail. Look at Stinian. Alright, let's do this. Just seeing how hard these ads hit already kind of makes me wonder how big pulls are going to work here, because it depends on my healer, obviously, as well as my ability to manage my defensive cooldowns and not accidentally use my Super Boli or be too late about it. That's also something I hate. That would have been one of the very first fixes to the game ever if it was up to me, because it sucks majorly when you push your defensive cooldown, you die, but it still goes off, because that means if you get revived, you don't have your invincible cooldown anymore. That really, really sucks. Dark Knight doesn't have to worry about that too much, because their Living Dead prior to its debuff is actually very lenient. It's the most lenient one, actually. So even if they press it early, they got 10 extra seconds to actually be killed before the ability kicks in, and then they can still keep fighting. It's only after the fact that it becomes an issue. Hey, look, it's him. Lunar Bahamut. I would have chose Night Glow Bahamut. So much cooler. Heck, I would have settled for Lunatic Bahamut, but no. I hope these things can't... I hope they can't deflect. Let me focus target one just to be sure. I mean, you see how these things are eating me alive?
I will not hold back.
Okay, so we get a taste of it early. Yeah, I figured if they're gonna have this thing attack us, it's probably gonna be the third boss, but I would not have guessed that from the very beginning. Also, I find it interesting because, as I mentioned the first time I saw it, it kind of reminds me of the Bahamut nightmare, I guess you could call it, that Sid was having. I guess it wasn't technically a nightmare, it was a memory, but it was basically like this. This weird Nidhogg Bahamut with a bad name. Alright, I'm going to open that up in case they say something critical. Oh wow, that hurts. Oh, I was about to say, these things are charging something. They had this little aura around them. That was a bad time to use Aurora. Should have held on to that.
Allow me.
I mean, you can, but I already used it. Ah, Akmorn. Who doesn't know about that skill? Dang, it was eating Y'shtola. That's weird. She should have been able to tank that a bit better. She's not the healer. Maybe Akmorn is more of a physical attack? Seems magical to me. Just surprised she took that much damage. Ah, bastard. Mega Flare Dive. Yeah, I figured I was too late for that one. I should have sprinted. That is a weird marker. Oh, that's why it pulses.
I will not hold back.
Lunar Flare. Holy crap. Ah. That's definitely panic-inducing. God help you if you get, like, heavied or stunned. Yeah, I was trying to get that off, thank God. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Also, future note, I wouldn't recommend doing it now, obviously, but if he's doing a move that's not focusing on you specifically, or you need to run from AoEs or anything like that, Akmorn is probably a great time to do the limit break. Or the Twisted Screen, that one's even better. Actually, no, it's not, because you might get really bad luck and get targeted by one of the little AoEs, which is very likely considering how they're all over the place. God dang it. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to sprint out of those. I can't move fast enough on my own. Oh, that's different too. And I was almost too late for that. I really got to sprint for these until I know them better, because that almost certainly would have killed me if I took two of those at once. Yeah, I knew that one was gonna hurt.
There'll be nothing left of you but a smoking crater.
That was a good time for the vulnerability to fall off. Yeah, this dude hits hard, man. Also, at the beginning, did he hit me with two back-to-back auto attacks? I swear he did. I just didn't get to comment on it. Take that. This. One of these. And he did not want to go down. He wanted to kill us with that. That can't be it, can it? We're going to have a Sephiroth copy situation on our hands here. Because that thing was strong, no doubt about it. But I was definitely expecting more save it for final boss kind of feel. So, let's see what happens. Yeah, it'd been nice if they actually helped. What about you, Ariane? I know you got something to say. There you go. Yeah, where did she crash? Is that... No, that's... Yeah, that's definitely not her. Yeah, I guess she retreated. Good question. Yeah, let's hope so. I wonder why he gave me that when I'm a tank. Hold on, let me check something. You would think it would have gave me, you know, tanking gear. Not that I would have put it on unless it looked really cool, but my outfit's already kind of perfect. That's why you see me wear it so much. Well, she's still standing. There's the nod. Yeah, she does it too.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well.
Interesting.
Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
I'll just be blunt here.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
Okay, cool. So that answers my question of, what about the other beastmen?
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
That's a good thumbnail.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
Ah, yes, these two. Yep, that looks familiar. Oh, that means that's what's inside all the towers. Various races.
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
Get back!
No! What have I done?
It's too late for them! We're leaving, now!
Oh.
No! No! Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together!
From Lunar Ifrit, huh? I'm already thinking about what Lunar Garuda's gonna look like. Probably just purple, if I'm being honest. Oh man, Lunar Titan is gonna be a bitch. I still can't believe that thing is gone for good. Yeah, good point, Y'shtola. I don't see a Stenian here. Which makes sense, so. Oh, come here, Alphino. You're in there somewhere. I forgot to check the journal. Gosh darn it. Hey, there you are. stream is acting weird again. It's like frozen on my screen. Hopefully that's not what's actually happening. Of course. I mean, it's been saying there's at least one other person here with me. And if that's true, well, you got more endurance than most people, I can tell you that. I honestly did not know, or completely forgot this place is open like this. I don't think I've ever seen it rain here. I don't ever come here. That's cool. And also kind of hazardous if that was a real life kind of thing. Oh geez. Is Estinian in here? I can't tell. I don't think he is. Yeah. Oh, didn't see you. See, her name didn't pop up. I had to get right beside her. Hey, I'm trying to show off everything to my one audience. Get off my back. Besides, if she's here, Estinian's got to be here, right? I've been wrong before, and I think it's had enough time to load in, so...
For Dola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you'll not be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
See, now that's some good dialogue there. Something you definitely won't see in Hollywood nowadays, because they both made very good, very true points. I should have checked around that corner. Gosh darn it, he's actually here. I wonder if he was actually here if I had... Dang, man, that was a really good hiding spot, because I did not think to look here. Yeah, you're right. I was actually thinking that. She still has not let that go. I think this is the longest Estinians has been with us, save for, of course, our journey with Lady Iceheart. Ever since then, he's kind of just been all over the place.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
What? No voice actor? Oh, come on. That's got to be a temporary thing, because he definitely has one, unless something happened. Or his explanation was that long.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fandaniel would doubtless have it.
Yeah, see? Voice acting.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within.
Oh, okay.
Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
That's actually a smart idea, considering we're trying to go for peace.
They do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
I love how fast your Stola just picks up on things, man.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
Telopori.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
I would say this, but if I'm not mistaken, they already pointed out that these lunar primals cannot temper people. The towers can, but the primals can't. So this should not be that big of a deal. There's going to be some death, but it's not unreasonable that they can't do it. But I wouldn't mind going on a primal hunt. I don't think I'll get to, though.
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause.
There's the theme.
It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do.
Excuse me.
Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Paglfan. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
Respite. I still can't get over that dress. Everything else about her looks great, but that dress, it definitely stands out. Can't believe Pippin didn't talk. Pippin didn't talk. Either something happened with the voice actor that I'm not aware of, or, like I said, his explanation was just that long, they decided not to let him actually talk. But then they could have just ended it with, sure, or started with, yeah, sure, Your Grace, I'll get right on that. Then ended it with, and that's the report. But no, nothing. Hey, don't leave yet. You just got here. What about that tea? Yeah, politics. Yeah. That's definitely something we don't need right now. I'm about to say, come on now, Thancred's right there. Yeah, sure. Just in case I missed something. Yeah, I did. I didn't check that part, the second part. I don't think I did. So, there you go, if you want to read up on that. Same thing here. Because, let's be honest, people who are going to watch this are just going to watch it after the fact, so just pause it if you need to. And let's see what Alice has to say. Yeah, I'm getting hungry myself. Haven't eaten yet, actually. I didn't press that. I really don't know why some of them go by that fast. My buttons are not that sensitive. Aw. Yeah, if that one went by, like, that fast, okay, but... I also like how we all looked at his sting at the same time. And Alphino just smiling. As I mentioned before, if you couldn't already tell, I am actually in a good mood. Must be a blue moon tonight or something. It almost feels good to laugh again. Still feel like I'm forgetting something. My phone hasn't, besides randomly dying on me, or shutting itself off, I finally had the bright idea to just put it on silent as opposed to no notifications, because it would still vibrate for some reason. Silent stops that, so, you know, that's taken care of. I remembered to turn off notifications for my system, and the link shells, so pretty smooth, besides
Welcome back.
YouTube
I
itself.
expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telofroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
End of the world. That's all I would say.
I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
I'd be bitter
were the
too.
final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that.
I don't know. You know how those
I
pencil
trust we
pushers
are
are.
all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldessian will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing. A topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
That's a good question. I've actually been thinking about that myself since Hydaelyn was revealed to be a primal. I've been thinking about that for a long time. And it was the day in the Crystarium, I want to say. Yeah, it must have been. Because when all that meteor shower was going on, other people were reacting to it. And if I think back, we weren't listening to it from their perspective. We were hearing it ourselves again. So I would say that day in the Crystarium.
When Elidibus sought to make warriors of light, that was the voice which calls constantly to all who might hear it. I spoke of direct communication.
You got me on that one.
When Hydaelyn communed solely with you.
Then that would be
occurrence.
The other one.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in his judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own. And as far as I am able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Yeah, true.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now, of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again, will you join us?
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo, you inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear.
I'm going to comment on this afterwards.
But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinian. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Tataru. Oh, we know what this means. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. Most of those are primal weapons. Hey, I recognize that one. I actually have that one.
Well, does this one meet with your approval?
Probably not.
Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken. Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There's little Sid weapons in there.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Well, not quite what I was expecting. Though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Don't even let us get to see it. I like that. But yeah, see what I was saying about Xenos? No one gave two damns about him back in Storm's Blood, save for yours truly and the faithful few. Look at him now. That was a pretty cool scene, because I recognize most of those weapons. They were primal weapons. I call them Sid weapons. They're like Ironworks, I think is the right term. Ironworks weapons. There were some other ones that I recognize, but I don't know their names. They kind of like the weapons the Heaven's Ward were using, just color swapped. So that was a cool scene as well. So, let's talk to everyone here. Get that done. Let me say this too, because I nearly forgot. Alphino. So, Alphino, even before this, got a lot of hate. I might have mentioned that last stream. I don't know why. It's like people like to make fun of him for being a child or something. I can't even really articulate what I'm trying to say. They just don't like him because he's whiny, I guess. Okay, here's something for you. How much you want to bet, my one audience member, that people, after seeing that cutscene, their respect for Alphino is not going to move at all? They're not even going to acknowledge it because Alphino has always been this way. Estinian said as much himself. He's always been that way, where he inspires people to fight, that he carries a burden that most grown-ass men can't carry. And this is just a child. Something I keep reminding people. Alphino's whiny. He's such a little kid. Yeah, no duh. He is a child. Of course he is. Estina actually acknowledges, yeah, he's a kid, but he's bearing a burden most grown-ups can't even handle. Is anyone going to acknowledge that? No. Why? Because they don't like him. And that's so... It's a video game character, but I'm using it to more talk about real-life things. Let's talk about the Joker. Someone else who's equally real. The Joker, arguably the most popular supervillain to ever exist or will ever exist. The Joker, especially for those who've seen The Killing Joke, can do some really terrible things. The Joker could and would and will, if you let him, kidnap you and your entire family, torture them and kill them in the most brutal ways he can possibly think of, ways you can't even imagine, make you watch, if not make you participate, and that same person would still love the Joker. Why? Because people like the Joker. Doesn't that sound stupid? Compared to Alphino doing a good thing, no one acknowledges it because they don't like him. The Joker makes you torture your own family to death, but you still like him because people like the Joker. Humans. Anyway. I like how I turned around right as he says that. I didn't know you acquired a taste for them. Yeah, but I have not played the original Final Fantasy XIV. I played A Realm Reborn, this one, but not the original. And unless I'm misunderstanding it, what Urianger and Crow were talking about is Urianger tried to warn them about the calamity, and they didn't listen. So, if anything, that's more egg on their face. So, you would think then, in addition to bearing that great shame, they would be more willing to listen to Cryo. Like, hey, there's going to be something worse than the calamity. The calamity screwed up Eorzea, yeah, but this is going to destroy the world. So, I'd like to think they would listen. 'Cause, I mean, that's what I would do. If I was wrong about the world nearly being ended, and I could have at least tried to help relieve that effort, just for you to come around and years later and say, hey, the world's actually going to end now if you don't help us. But again, you know how those types are. Yeah, Yashola got me. She is smarter than me after all, but I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking literally the last time I heard her, not specifically to me. Because that would have been the Dragon Song War, if that. Because to be honest, I don't remember too well, but I know for sure the last time I heard her, period, was during that star storm, that meteor shower, whatever you wish to call it. She also said something else I wanted to comment on. Oh, something else I was thinking about was, this was back when we were dealing with Tiamat, how Midgard-Solmer could remove the blessing, or he did something weird to us to where not only could we not talk to Hydaelyn, I think he actually weakened us and made us susceptible to tempering. That was a while ago, but he messed us up pretty badly until we proved ourselves worthy, and I think we got our powers back. So I find it curious that a dragon from a distant star can overwrite something that's basically a god of gods, but I digress. Sounds like he's trying to say, don't let me become Alpha now. Yeah, Totaro is just awesome like that. She really is. Yeah. Alright, to be continued. I think the next one is either going to be Endwalker. I think that's the next story thing. I could be wrong. I'm almost certainly wrong. But as far as I know, that's going to be the next one. Okay, I just wanted to see if she'd say the same thing. I think this might be different. Yeah, it is. Let's see what they say. Yeah. Try doing it when they're actively trying to kill you. Yeah, we know. That's kind of why we wanted you on the team. Way back in the day. Yeah, I miss him. I unfortunately can't remember his name, but I do remember him. He was like the oldest scion. I think, well, Urianger could be older for all I know because they age kind of weird, but he was physically old. Old guy. yeah, she's been, I'm just gonna leave that alone. But yeah, she really likes Hoary Boulder. Not that I blame her too much. He is kind of a bro. And I don't mean a bruh, I mean a bro. Alright, one last thing before I end this stream, because I said I would do it. Thank God I didn't forget. I want to see if they fixed Shinryu to say worm correctly as opposed to worm like what the birds eat. There it is. So, W-Y-R-M is what we need, not W-O-R-M. I'm surprised that's not been memed or made a bigger deal out of. It's like I'm the only one who noticed, or at least the only one who cares. And even then, I don't care that much. I just, again, all the vocabulary this game has to offer, and you misspell that? Yeah, dang it. Ah, there it is. I say, oh man, they're gonna make me fight them just to look. Yeah, that's the wrong one. You guys have seen it for yourself, so I'm not just full of crap. They still haven't fixed it. Ah, how terribly disappointing. Alright then, that was the last thing I wanted to do. Thanks, one audience member, disappearing back into the ether. I'm glad you stopped by at least. But that'll be it for now. I'm gonna go take care of some things off screen. Until next time, thank you all for tuning in.